Goes way out.
I have not felt like me. Is anyone else like this? Like the past 2 months? It's okay. I mean, if you are over the computer, great. Get yourself in the gym. Get yourself walking through nature for a little bit.
Do both.
Read a book. Find a passion. Work out whatever you want your job to be for life. But sometimes, and this is something that's strange to me, sometimes people will message me and say, Josh, I've played a game for 5,000 hours. I don't find it fun anymore. What do I do? I'm like, play another game. It's entertained you for 5,000 hours. That's way more than anything should ever be able to do. You've done phenomenally well to get that far.
But true.
It's okay. You can play another game. It's okay. You can do that. And sometimes, have you ever sat down to, I mean, I find this most common with MMORPGs, but I think it also happens with other game styles. You sit down, you turn on the console or the PC or whatever, you boot the game up, the main menu kicks in, you load a previous save, and like 2 or 3 minutes in, you just think, I'm not feeling it. I don't know why. It's just not grabbing me. I feel like I'm going through the motions. I feel like I'm fulfilling an obligation. I feel like I'm sitting down to complete a chore instead of excitedly running home from school or work and then, logging into an adventure fantasy that I'm enjoying and want to experience and go through. Sometimes I do very much feel like I am just almost fulfilling an obligation to myself. And I have to stop myself and say, hang on, why am I fulfilling an obligation that I feel to myself when I'm not having fun? Here's one thing that I saw on Reddit recently, and I am a filthy Reddit user, and I'm sorry, and I apologize to everyone, but the subreddit MMORPG, there are so many posts on there every week of, I'm not enjoying my game, what do I do? Play another game. Do something else. It's a hobby. It's okay. You don't need to do it all the time. One of the posts I saw on Reddit was someone saying, I want to quit WoW, but I feel guilty for letting my raid team down. And I'm thinking, it's not a professional sport. This isn't your livelihood. It's a hobby. While I understand that you will have a team of people relying on you, the team of people should be your friends, and they should understand if you say, hey, this isn't a fun part of my life anymore. This isn't an enjoyable bit of my life. I'm going to go and do something else. I'm going to stop this for a bit. Totally okay. If I'm playing RuneScape hardcore with a couple of friends and one of my friends is like, you know what, guys, I'm not really enjoying this anymore. I'm going to do something else. Sweet. Go and do that. When you feel ready, we'll still be here. That's how it works. But people very much seem to value the achievement hunting.
I don't know where he goes with this, but I think that's a little dismissive. I mean, it's correct. You could do that. But what I've found over the years is a lot of people in MMOs are habitually addicted. And also, it is their life. And it's such a habitually addictive thing. I kind of look at, honestly, for a lot of people, MMOs is like smoking or something like that. Yeah, you can just stop, lol, and finish and go play something else. But for a lot of people, it is their life. And you can't just let it go. It's one of those things you can't just stop. Especially if it's been a part of your life for like 10 years or 5,000 hours or whatever it is. Those people can't just let it go. They're closer with their raid team than they are with their own families in a lot of cases. And if you that comforting blanket of an MMO that you've been playing for like 10 plus years can't just be put down by so many people. And we've seen evidence of that when we introduce people to other games, is they can't handle it. Like, they get really uncomfortable. They feel lost. They feel stressed. They feel anxiety. While it's true you can just play another game, there are far too many people out there who can't do that. As much as it sounds nonsensical because it's a video game, they can't do that. Like, the prospect of letting down their raid team is an overwhelming burden that they have to carry. And it's not just a simple case for too many people of just play something else. I don't agree with that. I think it's thankfully something I think a lot of us here have broken out of a little bit, especially with how Shadowlands went. But to just be like, okay, just don't do it anymore is like weight loss, like changing the habitual habits that you've generated over a decade plus is just not that simple. It's really not for too many people, and I don't know. Like, just play something else. Just doesn't feel helpful to those people because they're kind of trapped. That habit, when you build it, is just overwhelmingly hard to break for too many people. Shadowlands killed it. Yeah, it took like 4 years for me to break with World of Warcraft. Right? It took. I don't even think it's funny. I think it's kind of sad. Like, if you're playing if you're a one game, that's totally fine. If you're having fun, that's totally fine. But there are a lot of people, and I've dealt with them so many times over the years, who are just not having fun. But they don't want to let down their team. And also, they do have that aspect of their life which brings joy to them, is when they log into an MMO and people say hi, they're happy to see you. That's a feeling too many people just don't have in the real world. And it's sad, but it's really, I think that's really true of a lot of people, is you log into your MMO and there's people who are like happy to see you. They greet you. They're like, hey, do you want to do something? And even if you don't enjoy that thing, you know that's waiting for you, especially if your life at the time is pretty miserable. You're working a dead-end job. It's not what you wanted to do. You don't enjoy it. You've dragged yourself out of bed every morning. You go to this place of work where maybe you're not even well liked, or you think everybody's an arsehole. You do something that kind of sucks. Then you come home to enjoy your free time and your hobby, and you don't even really like that hobby anymore, but still those people are there. And one of the biggest reasons I think people do end up drifting away from a game is not because the game got bad. It's because the people disappeared. That's why they leave. For the most part, it's because my friends stopped playing. It's not because the game is fucking horrible. The game is atrocious, but I lost the people I played with. And that's why I stopped eventually. Is how I got out of it, is I lost the other feeling. The joy that came with it. And that's the bit that's gone. And I can play Shadowlands, and I can play BFA, and I played all of BFA. I played most of Shadowlands, and I played it because of the people. I played because of my guild. Like, even though giving up on that and having, I can talk about my personal experience, is leaving World of Warcraft was a big decision from a content creation standpoint, because it's all I was known for so many years, and people relied on me, and I was like, I'm not going to do it anymore. So I don't know. I just don't think it could be that dismissive for a lot of people. It's like, yeah, just play something else. Like, that involves leaving behind your friends, leaving behind so many people to go to a place where you don't know anybody. And you end up playing. How many lone wolves do we see in these MMOs? Because they don't know how to make friends again. A lot of people accidentally stumbled into a friends group, or it built over years, or they joined the first guild that invited them and they found 2 or 3 people. Drama Time's a great example of this, right? Drama Time's a great example of how many people just joined a guild that was fucking awful. Abusive, horrendous, just manipulative, emotionally stunting. But they found 1 or 2 people they were close with, and they stuck it out for like a year, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years. It just goes on and on and on because of 1 or 2 people that they felt connected to and had some fun with. I do think there's so many people who play MMOs in particular are just habitually addicted no matter what happens. And it's also why I think we see such strong visceral reactions to people with a disapproving opinion on the games, or when a minor change comes into the game, they react like their world's ending and all that kind of stuff, is because like their friends are leaving and their world's collapsing, and their actual world is collapsing because their real world sucks, and now their virtual world is collapsing too. For neurodivergent people like me, it's even harder. I stayed through the worst of BFA or Shadowlands. So it took the lawsuit for me to take a break. And I had to consult over that with my therapist. Yeah, I could totally agree with that. It was hard for me to leave. I was unhappy in World of Warcraft for what, 1.5 years, 2 years? No, longer than that, like 3 years. And I stuck it out for 3 fucking years. Not just because of my job, but because the people were fun. We could all moan about it together collectively, but like we all did it. I farmed all those islands. I farmed all those benthic pearls. I was miserable the entire fucking time. I farmed all that PvP for essences. I did arena. I did all the shit I did not want to do with my free time, purely because I played with Kenny in arena, and I love Kenny, and I played with Loz and Alex and the rest of the team in raids, and we had a great time. And I don't know. Just change games seems like an easy answer because it's just a video game, and it is ultimately when you pull yourself out of when you actually take the UAV online look, it's just a video game. It's supposed to be having fun, but there's connections there that are undeniable. That social connection is very, very real, and also very positive, and that's what makes it work, right? It's so positive. You look at the crawlers, you look at PreachCon. You look at all those things where those people have connected in the real world and now really close friends, marriages, babies born, long-term brotherhoods have been formed over those kinds of things all through a video game. And I think for most of us, and I include myself in this, I have a stronger connection to the people I have in the virtual world than I do in the real world. That's very, very true of me. I can't find in the real world people who share a passion as specific and as niche as my own. I can't. They don't exist. Like in my geographical space is to find people in the real world who share my very niche, very specific, true happiness of my hobby than I can
Morning
online.
fam.
You know what I mean? I can't find those people, but I can find them here just fine. I can find that I'm surrounded by them on a daily basis. It's why I'm so fortunate. I love my job. Is that I find you guys on a very daily basis, even though we have disagreements. But goddamn, do we connect in a way that I don't connect with anybody in the real world, right? Absolutely. Can I share a rat joke with someone in real life? If I try to explain like the rat meme to anybody in my real life circles, they would look at me like a complete fucking moron. Right? They're like, so you're saying you fought a giant white puffy rat with a big pink fluffy tail in a video game with a naked cat boy and this Polish troll and this little mini Lala boy from Australia while you were dressed in with wings and a fairy was running around and you were dying to it and all these people were making jokes about how powerful the rat is. Is this you coming out to me as gay? Are you into some sort of fetish shit? That's how a real person would respond to that. Like a non-gamer would be like, so you're doing what with rats? With a fairy? Right? It's like, is this, what's going on? Like, what are you talking about? Like, it just wouldn't make any sense. Like, people wouldn't get it. No matter how many times I explained it to them, they would never get it. But over here, it's a great time. Yeah, it's a great time. It's a ton of fun. And I mean, we saw Jordan cry recently a lot, but one of the reasons was that she played a different game and people didn't abandon her en masse. In fact, she got very positive feedback. And, you know, that's how people really feel about changing games, not just from a streamer point of view, but to go to another game and be welcomed, find other people. I honestly think most people don't even look for other guilds. When their guilds die in World of Warcraft, they just kind of stop dead. Like their world has completely collapsed because they truly believe they'll never find a group like that again. And it's why so many people like break off and make their own guild with some of the people from the last guild. They hold on to that as much as humanly possible. They cling to it like a sinking raft. Is to hold on to this part of the game because it's so important to me that if I lose that, I lose everything. It's all gone, and they cling to it like literally like they're drowning, and it's what it is. So yeah, I don't know. It's kind of nice to be like, yeah, just play another game, lol. But like, I don't think people can do it. Stop looking into my soul. It's something I'm kind of glad. I know this will come across really mean at them, but I'm kind of glad Blizzard somewhat collapsed because I think so many people broke out of the habit. I think so many people got free and then found that I mean, from a social aspect, I think it's totally a good thing that Blizzard kind of collapsed. Not to shit on Blizzard, but for the social aspect of the players who went other places and were like, there is another side. There is other places I can go. And I think a lot of those people are now more than happy to swap between games on the regular. Like, it just showed them that it's okay. It's okay. But a lot of people did not do that and still stuck there. You had too much bind to Blizzard and WoW. The sunk cost fallacy is very, very real, but I don't even put it to that. I think the sunk cost fallacy is kind of dismissive as well. Is that, oh, I've put so much time into this game, I don't want to let it go. There's a part of that for some people, especially collectors or whatever. But it's the social aspect. It's the social side of it. It's the comfort of going home to friends. And they are friends. This isn't 10 years ago where the idea of having a friend online meant you were a pedophile or something. We all know here that our online friends are friends. They're real people who are real fucking friends. Real people who are genuinely sharing your common goals and interests, and they're real friends. And losing that and leaving that, which is what you're talking about with playing a different game unless they come with you, is not realistic for some people. Like, it might be the only friends they have. It literally might be the only friends they have. You know what I mean? It might be the literally only friends they have, and they're good friends. They're not just like images or like fake things. It's not like, you know, you're talking to an AI. They're real people who are your actual friends, and you're only separated by geography. And if you were close by, you would probably get together and see each other, or at least for a LAN party, because you share the same hobby, and you would have the best time. Do you know what I mean? I think I've never been addicted to games because I'm naturally just antisocial. I just can't interact directly with people for long without just breaking down. In chat lists is fine, but VC or playing with them in games just causes anxiety. Yeah, that's a personal issue as well, but there's certainly a comfort to it. I mean, how many people online game because they have social anxiety problems, which have made considerably worse by COVID-19? That's a reality. We talked about it at the time that coming out of COVID and getting society in some way back on track is going to be a long, long process. It's actually going to be one of the longer processes we deal with after the COVID lockdowns. Is a lot of people who probably may have even been outgoing previously recluse themselves completely from the world and disappeared and don't really want to come back out of it. And, you know, work from home is a part of that as well. Work from home is a part of that as well. People have got better lives now. They've got happier lives with closer friends by not going into an office every day. And they don't want to give that up. Yeah, there's the financial side of it, of having to commute and do all that. Yeah, sure. But on the alternative side of that is that my life is just better. It's just a better life. It's as simple as that. I enjoy my life more. I'm happier. And I want to stay this way. It's a peaceful life. It's a peaceful, non-stress life. But at the same time, society
can confirm that after
good.
COVID I was socially messed up compared to before, and the PG community / crawlers have been huge to help.
Mm-hmm. There's a lot of people in our community who are still afraid of coming and saying hi to the people they talk to every day. And that's fine. It takes time and it's got to be done. But it's a huge problem. And the safety blanket is games. The safety blanket is games. You know what I mean? That works every single day. Or should I do how to make friends anymore? I would have no idea. I have no idea. When people suggest shit like going to pottery classes, I don't give a fuck about pottery classes. Like, if my wife left me, or God forbid there was ever an accident where she was gone or whatever, I'm single for the rest of my life. I don't know what the fuck is going on. I have no idea. I don't know how to do it anymore. I'm done. Like, that's okay. I'm single for the rest of my life. I'm not going to start going to dance club or go out to bars or any of that shit. Absolutely not. That is never happening in my life. That's not the way it's going to be. I'm not going to start taking up things I'm not interested in to try and get together with people and make friends. Join badminton class? Never. I don't really friends, but I'm glad to be in the streams. Always fun vibe. Yeah, for sure. Good thing about games, it's instantly a point of connection. There's something special about logging in and just seeing your buddies. It's so special. It's really special, and it should never be taken for granted, is when you log in, say hello to people. I teach my kids this, because my kids asked me like a couple of years, or a few years ago now, why do you say hi to everybody that we go past? Because I always say hi to people, strangers, all the time. And I said to them, it's like, it makes their day better. And they might say it to somebody else. And I really, truly believe in that filter down effect. Like when we're out cycling in Scotland or whatever, and we're going past people, it's like, good morning, nice to see you. It might do nothing, but the worst it's going to do is nothing. If anything, it might make their day slightly better. And they might say it to some other people. And it just reinforces that society isn't the nightmare the media certainly makes it out to be. Like, statistically, we live in the safest time ever, right? Like, objectively, this is the safest time to live, at least in my country, than it ever has been ever. And yet, people are fucking terrified all the time of going outside. Who is that guy on the end of my street? Why is that guy there? Why is this guy walking behind me on the street? And I've said, I'm a big guy. I get it. And if I see some woman on her own, I cross the street because I know that some people feel fucking awful. I've seen some big lumbering ox walking towards them. And I don't want to make anybody feel that way ever. Like, I'll cross over. It's fine. I'm not doing it. I'm very aware of that being a situation for some people, despite the fact that I would probably just say good morning or whatever. Like, I'm not going to put anybody in that position where they might feel like threatened or scared because it just makes their day worse. Like, I'm not going to do that. I'm a big teddy bear because you guys know me, right? But still, there are a lot of people out there who don't feel that way. And I don't want anybody to ever feel intimidated. That's not what we're about. Helps if you smile. Yeah, but you shouldn't force a smile ever as well. Like, I think it's something women hear a lot is like, you should smile more. Go fuck yourself. Go fuck yourself. You know when I'll smile? When I'm happy. That's when I'll smile. I'm a pretty happy guy. I'm happy, but don't force smiles on your face. Look at how many people, certainly like famous celebrities and comedians, Robin Williams, how many times was that guy smiling and putting love into everybody's hearts, while being at the same time, I'm going to kill myself. It's bollocks. It's bollocks. Do you know what I mean? Like, don't force it out. If you're miserable, you have a right to be fucking miserable. You have a right to be pissed off. You know, everybody has a right to be pissed off. Leave me the fuck alone. Like, you know what I mean? Leave me the fuck alone. That's okay too. That's totally fine. People smile more. Me, I have resting bitch face. I have zero control over this. I have resting, I am not interesting face. It's something that I am aware of. But honestly, I'm not going to fake anything with anybody. I can't be asked. My life's too busy. I can't be fucking bothered faking shit for people. I'm not going to do it. It's never going to happen. If you're talking about... I have this problem with them as friends. If you're going to talk about horses for 20 minutes, I'm going to look like I'm somewhere else. Fun fact, I am somewhere else. In my head, I'm in Eorzea, or I'm planning my stream, or I'm making a video, or I'm planning the next team meeting, or what we need to talk about. That's where my brain is. I might physically be present, but my brain is massively somewhere else. And I don't give a fuck. I really don't care. But I'm also not going to be a douche and say, hey, can you guys stop talking about this thing that you guys really enjoy? I'm not going to do that either. You know what I mean? I'm not going to do that either. It's like, hey, can you guys stop talking about horses because I don't care? Right? I'm not going to do that either. I'm just going to think about my own shit for a bit. And I'll come back later on. You know what I mean? I'm going to do that. That's what I'm going to work. Being self-aware, don't people please is pretty healthy. People pleasing in SB draining on your mental resources. I imagine it's, I'm fortunate I've never been through depression. I felt it coming on, which I've talked about, but I've never like actually gone down that road, thankfully. But my mother has, and it was weird. It was weird. My mother had a full nervous breakdown, and she showed me things that I didn't think were possible up until that point. Like lost time. I didn't think that was real until my mum actually had it happen to her, which was really, really bad. Like, it was like I just lay down and it was like 2 days later and I didn't know what happened. I just lost time. I wasn't aware of the passage of time. Like, that was a real eye-opening experience to have that happen. Like, just not being aware that time has passed or what day it is and shit like that. Really scary. Yeah, lost entire weeks. I can imagine. Like, I don't know. I've never been to a therapist. Not that and that's not because I'm averse to it, but I've never felt the need to. But when I've felt it coming on, I've tried to do things about it. And it's helped. I feel fine now. I feel good. But yeah, it's one of those things I'm aware of. Sometimes a week just vanishes and nothing's happening. I think that's also part of monotony, right? Like, once you get into certain habits, it's just like every day is the same. And it just keeps going. Every day is the fucking same. And none of it is fun. None of it is enjoyable. Every day is the fucking same. And it just drowns and blurs and mixes into one. Anyway. Yeah. Therapists aren't guaranteed to help you. No, nothing's a guarantee, but doesn't mean you shouldn't try. Right? Like, not trying is worse. At least from what I know, like not trying is worse. Just being like therapists won't help isn't gonna do anything. I know streams are always positive. I try to be. Like I'm not. I'll always be honest with you guys. If something's pissed me off, something's pissed me off. Thankfully, not too much pisses me off. That happened to me after the Blizz France layoffs. Months passed and I barely noticed. Yeah, it's true. I hear the voice in my head. Stop it. I'm just saying it's a broader. It's this nuance, right? There's a nuance. There's a nuance to all those things. Yeah, just stop being sad, lol. It's because you're a snowflake. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Therapists are too expensive. That's why we like working with Rad at the Race to World First, like who are providing that. Working that area that I do, the events during the pandemic broke me. I could also say that. Oh, thank you, John. That's really, really nice of you. That's super nice. Thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah. Jeez, it's hot today. Has reached out and gotten nothing for it repeatedly. Never give up. Eventually, someone will care. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, that's. Have you seen Keemstar's take on depression? I imagine it's very well thought out and empathetic. I can imagine it's a real Sigma male point of view. Maybe you should just like I don't think Keemstar's clueless at all. I think there's a market out there, especially after COVID, to be manipulative to people who are feeling lonely and sad. And find somebody to blame, which is what's usually the case with these things, especially these people who get popular peddling that nonsense, is focus all your anger on X person because they're definitely the problem. They're your issue. It's not you. You're fine. It's everybody. It's somebody else who's the problem. Nothing of value comes out of it. I don't think so either. I think so too. Yeah. You just described both the British government and Andrew Tate. Yeah, I mean, that's what these people are doing, and they're making a lot of money out of it because they're fully aware there are a lot of disenfranchised people out there who are miserable, lonely, and they want to blame somebody for it. So let's pick women. Let's pick black people. Let's pick trans people. Let's throw all our hate on them because they're the problem. We're fine. It's this person who's the issue. This person is the issue. They're the problem. They're the ones that are causing all my problems. Yes. Somebody else. It's somebody else. It's not us. It's somebody else. Yeah, let's just throw all our blame on those people. Yeah. Scary stuff. Anyway, maybe you did say that.
Over the actual experience. Have you ever done something in a game because you get an achievement for doing it, and you would have never done this had there not been an achievement? This is proof
actually.
That the getting of the achievement is more important than the journey the achievement took you on to get it. And sometimes people say to me, oh man, I wish MMOs were how they used to be, where people just did things for fun. Okay, cool. People do still do things for fun. But what you have to understand is it's very difficult to do something for fun when you don't get that dopamine hit of achievement completed for doing it.
Big true. Big true. Yeah, I don't think just change game is easy. The hate against trans people is the worst lately because they're the target, right? That's what always happens: is pick a target and go on them. Pick a target. That's where you should throw all your shit. Let's all join together and throw your shit over there. Every trans person I've ever met universally has been awesome. Absolutely awesome. And we have plenty of trans people in our community, and they're always awesome. And I'm so happy. One of the happiest days ever, actually, for me, was the PreachCon where multiple trans people turned up because they felt comfortable to be there. That is a reward in itself. This is a place where I am going to be fine. And it was awesome. It was absolutely awesome.